Hello, my name is Liz Pegram, and the topic that we'll be talking about today is addressing the needs of diverse learners in the classroom. And this is a complex subject because there's so many categories that learners can fit into that makes them unique. But in this video, we're going to dive into a couple of those. One aspect that you really want to keep in mind is the multiple intelligences that students can have, and they may be very intelligent in one of the areas and need a little bit more help in others. So, for example, some of the categories are interpersonal intelligence, which means that they're people smart, overall academic intelligence that displays how good they are at logistical or logical reasoning. There is linguistics intelligence, which shows how good they are at communicating, expressive intelligence, how well they are able to control their body motions. There's visual intelligence that shows how accurately they can comprehend a visual. There is musical intelligence, naturalist intelligence, and existential intelligence, which is about how smart they are at pondering questions of life and existence. Because your classroom is going to have a variety of students with stronger intelligences in different areas, you're always going to want to provide a variety of activities that fit better with some of the students' ways of learning. As a teacher, you're really going to want to think about your own personality type and think about the personality of your students and whether these personalities mesh and work well. A good teacher is one that is able to be flexible and teach to the needs of students, as opposed to just thinking about what works best for them personally as a teacher. In your teaching years, you're going to find yourself in situations where there's a clear difference between the style of the teacher and the student, and you're going to want to learn how to address that. Something you can do is just evaluate your teaching style once you get to know your students and the class dynamic and just kind of reevaluate it. Something else is to consider a standards-based approach, which emphasizes a variety of activities and an emphasis on meaning. Another one, you're going to want to push students outside of their comfort zone because they can benefit when they are pushed beyond their what they're used to and the style that they're used to. And even though they're not comfortable at first, they're going to benefit from a variety of activities. You're going to want to think about the way students work in groups and their placement in groups. And the last one is, and if nothing's really working, you're just going to want to change the curriculum and provide new activities with new media materials and activities that promote openness and new learning styles. Another way that students may be unique is whether or not they have a learning disability or a physical disability. And a lot of these students are now part of the regular classroom. But you want to keep in mind that they are more than their disability and they can still have success in the language classroom. But you just want to assess them in different ways and ones that don't impede the possibility of success. On the other hand, you're going to have what are called gifted learners in the classroom that exceed in a classroom setting and are described as having outstanding levels of aptitude. For these students, you're really going to want to keep in mind the speed and acceleration of the class so that they do not get bored. And you want to provide them activities that will keep them engaged and promote maximum cognitive growth, but ones that don't put the rest of the class behind. So think of some activities that they could do perhaps after they finish the main activity, but ones will not put behind the other students. And these could be challenging real-world tasks that they could work through, or it can just be something as simple as solving a riddle on the board. So on my channel, I'm going to make a whole other video about the topic of heritage learners, but I just wanted to dive into it a little bit. And heritage learners are described as home background learners, so students that they speak the language at home. And in the classroom, they learn the language very differently. They build upon existing linguistic skills, and they are going to exceed and struggle in very different ways that L2 learners would. But something to keep in mind is that you really just want to respect their dialect if their dialect strays away from what is considered normal classroom Spanish. You want to respect that and not correct them. And all language learners benefit from this, but especially heritage learners, you want to provide them with opportunities for involvement beyond the classroom. And you also want to bring in opportunities where they can share their culture in the classroom as well. All right, that concludes today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I just wanted to note that I got all of my information from this video from Teacher's Handbook, Contextualized Language Instruction, and it is a textbook that I recommend very strongly to all foreign language teachers. Thank you so much.